What's up, YouTube? This is my very first video. Sit here, I'm addicted to YouTube, watching hunting videos and whatnot. And something I've noticed that people don't put on, especially squirrel hunting videos, that's my favorite thing to do, is types of ammo and when to use them, where to use them, all that kind of thing. Well, I've got several different types of ammo, from 12 gauge, 22s, 22 magnums, and we'll go over when, where, and why not. So most people's go-to is either a shotgun or a 22. We're going to start with the 22 long rifle. This is 22 long rifle, hollow points. It's a fine round, not too much for squirrel hunting. Hollow points tend to destroy the meat, especially if you're doing body shots. I've shot them with 22 hollow points and they'll blow the whole front quarter off. So not really my go-to. This is more of a varmint round at the house. You know, you want to make a big old hole in a groundhog or a whatever, to me. And you've got your regular old lead pointed 22s like this. Good round, excellent round for squirrel hunting. They mushroom real well and relatively cheap. I know here lately maybe not so much, but this box of 500 now is going for about $40. Yeah, used to be 10 5 years ago. All right, now we'll move over to the 22 shorts. Most folks are like, why 22 shorts? Well, 22 shorts a good round for squirrel hunting, especially if you're in an area where there may be a lot of houses or whatever, you know, houses that are within 200 or 300 yards, and you want to shoot them with a 22. It's not a bad round. It's a lot safer round compared to a 22 long rifle. A lot of people don't realize 22 long rifle go a pretty fair distance, and also they're really bad about ricocheting. So if you're ever hunting in a semi-populated area, really think about before you use a 22 long rifle. All right, now we'll move on to the 22 Magnum. And everybody's sitting there, why in the world would you want to use a 22 Magnum on squirrel hunting? Well, there's a couple of reasons. Late in the year, when all the foliage fell off the trees and you can see 100 yards through the thick woods, what used to be the thick woods, well, guess what? That squirrel can see you 100 yards away. So a 22 jacketed soft point can be a go-to round with the right man behind the trigger on 60, 70, 80 yard shot, you know, through open timber with no leaves. But here again, very dangerous round. You got to make sure that that there's no civilization around, you know, vast river bottoms, you know, where there's no chance that you could possibly accidentally, heaven forbid, shoot somebody's house or whatever. All right, now this is where my go-to goes. 12 gauge shotgun. I always see people saying, oh, I shoot them with 410, I shoot them with 20 gauge and all that, and that's fine. I used to shoot them with a 410 and a 20 gauge when I was a kid, but you just don't put as much pellets in the air, you know. A 12 gauge, you got a lot more pellets, and that's the key. I don't like chasing them when they're on the ground. So here's 3 rounds that I prefer: 6s, 5s, and 4s. I like and a lot of it has to depend on how your gun patterns. The best thing you can do is get you a full choke and pattern all three of these rounds. Sometimes one will pattern better than the other one in your gun. It's kind of odd, but performance-wise, sixes, they're a decent round. They're not too bad. High brass sixes. The only problem with high brass sixes is you start making those 40-yard shots. They don't normally hit the ground dead. A lot of times you might have to run them down, but the 30-yard within shots on an 1 3/8 shot, it's a fine round. All right, fives. Fives is in between fours and sixes. Great round. That's what I use mostly. A 5 has a few less BBs than a 6, but it has more knockdown. I can get less pellets in the animal and still have a good, clean, ethical kill. And it's a forgiving round because you have more pellets on them running shots and jumping shots and stuff like that as far as hitting it. But it tends, in my shotgun, it tends to carry better when I'm patterning it. And I pattern all these at 40 yards. Fives are my go-to shot. Now, a friend of mine shoots fours, and they're great for him. They're not too, they don't pattern real well in my shotgun, but they're great. They kill them dead. I'm talking break bones and hit the ground. So that just depends. The best thing on these shot is to pattern your gun at 40 yards and see how many you get in a circle, say that big. All right, and then after that, another big deal is availability of shot. If I couldn't find fours, or if I couldn't find fives, and all they had was sixes, I'm gonna buy sixes and I'm gonna go squirrel hunting. 7.5s, don't waste your time. 8s, don't waste your time. Because the whole point of hunting is having a good time, being successful in the woods, and you don't want to sit there and shoot just to shoot and wound animals. You want to take them home for dinner, you know. Chasing squirrels down through the woods until they find a hole and they're going to die in that hole, that's just a waste of wildlife. So I hope this helped. And y'all have a great day.